Hello there. Has it all been happening this week, month, year? So far, we're a good way into it, actually. The year's about to start. For the northern people, the people coming out of winter and into spring, your year is about to start, energetically anyway. Here on the upside down, on the flip side, it's a little bit different, but the vibe is still the same. Coming up to that turning point and things are about to get real again, because January and February, they don't seem to count somehow in a funny way. But it has all been happening. So I'm going to have a bit of a ramble through what I feel has all been happening. And it just occurred to me that I can't tell you why. I mean, I could, but it would only be my version of why or even how. And it's very cosmology dependent. And so I'm just not interested in that. If people are wondering, if you're wondering why I'm not giving you the why, I could give you my version of why, but that's very reliant on my cosmology. And really, the energy works behind the cosmology. Like, it's not energetic movement or behavior is not cosmology dependent at all. So it really doesn't matter what cosmology you apply to it in some sense. It's still going to be doing what it's doing. Now, it does matter what cosmology you apply if your cosmology has ridiculous fantasy in there that's not actually true, like really not true. But most cosmologies have a version of truth, an amount of truth. Some are more true than others, but at the end of the day, it's the metaphor that works for you, because that's the finger pointing at the moon. It's still not the moon. Like, the cosmology is not the moon. It's the framework you're going to use to get to the moon, not even to understand the moon, just to get there. Because once you get there, you'll realize your cosmology was bullshit, and you're going to have to rethink it anyway. That's what always happens. That's what's always happened to me. You use a story or a cosmology to further you, to expand you, to get you to the next screen, to get you to the next space. And then if you bother to turn around and look back, you will see a large portion of the cosmology turns out to be, if not skewed, total bullshit. And you're going to have to dump that by the wayside, rethink it all, and come up with a new cosmology to get you to the next screen, the next expansion point, to hopefully turn around and look back and find out that the cosmology didn't work for you. It won't work. It'll get you to there, but it won't get you further. That's what I'm trying to say. That's the whole point of turning around and looking. Is a cosmology is very good to get you to a point, but then you've got to work out which bits to carry on and which bits to drop. Don't be married to your cosmology or be ready to have a hasty divorce. So there's that. What's been going on? What's been going on is lots of old ghosts are coming out of the closet. Lots of old acquaintances are popping back up. Lots of old friends are coming back to see you, to see me. People, feelings, emotions, circumstances, experiences coming back again. And it's not, I don't buy the university Earth cosmology, never have. I was about to say never will, but never say never. That doesn't sit with me at all. So it's not a test. It's not a you pass the test, pat you on the head and on to the next one. It's not that. It's more of to see what calibration you're at, I think. I feel that's what it is. Try not to think too much. The brain's hijacked. It's useful for some things, but not for others. I feel it's a stress test. It's a calibration test. You say that you're not going to do that thing. You say that's where you are. What if I put this in front of you? What if I now wrap it in your parents? What if I now wrap the experience in an ex-girlfriend? What if I now wrap the experience in a bank account? Same energy, different window dressing. Are you actually there, or do you just think you're there? So it's an opportunity to check yourself. and like take the stress test if you want to and see, are you where you think you are, or is there a little bit more to drop? Is there a little bit more to disidentify yourself with? Because that the majority of our issues is we're holding shit that's not ours, and we're identifying with stuff that was never us. Never, ever, ever. And this has been coming up for quite a few people. Like the boss level, the boss level boss, like the final level boss is coming up in different iterations to say, yeah, but really, and this happens in the astral. This happens in the dream. Spaces that are protected, spaces that are guarded in the astral or in the dream space, they're guarded for a reason. They're not going to let you in if you're infected. And when I say infected, I mean with ideas that are incongruent, with emotions that are unstable. You will not get into those spaces. Usually, excuse me, a bit of that going on too. Although the skies have been reasonably clear, but maybe it's a bit more high level. There's a bit of that going on. These places are protected in such a way that you won't even see the door. You won't even find the door. That's how they're protected. You don't know the space exists, usually, until you're right at the threshold of being correctly calibrated, or you get correctly calibrated. You're not carrying the virus anymore. You're not carrying the demolition thought form. You're not carrying the incongruent emotions. Because it's like a virus. It's like a virus in the classical sense of the term, not the actual sense of the term. Like, that's an infection. That's not going to work. These beings, they're not idiots. They're not going to let you into the space if you're infected. This is like you letting a person into your house or into your life who you know is trouble. But something tells you need to help them, you should help them, they should come in, it's a family member, there's social etiquette, there's blah, 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 blah. And then they leave and everything's pear-shaped for the next 3 days. Congratulations, you let everyone get infected. Now, sometimes you can't get around that and you just have to do the cleanup afterwards, that's fine. But these other spaces, they're not beholden to you at all, or me. If you are, it's like John Keely, one of John Keely's machines. If you're morally bankrupt, the machine won't turn on for you. Like, if you are infected, you will not get into the space. So this is like a pressure test of there's something coming. There's always something coming. I mean, that sounds that sounds ominous and hopeful all at the same time, and I don't mean to put it that way. I just mean like there's something coming for which, in a way, you don't get a choice. That's what it feels like. You're choosing now with your behavior and your work. Are you doing the work? How are you behaving? Are you listening to random people with no skin in the game who are telling you what's what and who's who and what matters and what not matters? And they're just demons talking bullshit to you. Is that what's going on? Do you need to clear that up a bit? But they're famous, they're popular, they're funny, I vibe with them. Yeah, but is it bullshit or not? Like, what are you telling yourself? Not up here, that's not you. I mean, what are you telling yourself? What's your spine saying? What's your heart saying? Like that version of you that's in there, subtle, quiet, that one. What's that saying? Who are you listening to? Are you getting pulled off track? Are you getting pulled off your path? Off the way? There is a way. It is straight. It is reasonably narrow. There's actually quite a bit of leeway, but it is reasonably narrow. And if you're off it, it's fine. You're still going to get where you're going to. It's just going to be not great. So it feels like there's a thing, an energetic, not convergence, but divergence. I mean, a lot of people have been talking bifurcation, trifurcation, blah, blah, blah. I guess that's a language for it. Feels like that's coming. And I mean, 2020 showed us that that's actually here in some ways. It's just the volume's getting turned up more and more. There's a split that's going to go on. And it does feel a bit like a three-way split to me. But you're probably not going to get a choice. Like, you can choose below where you are, less expanded, but you probably won't be able to actually choose above, because it's a stress test. If you didn't get on the beep test, on the click test in the sports team, if you didn't get to a certain level, you just won't get through. And that's not non-equality, that's not unfair. That's just like, hey buddy, you're still a bit infected. We can't let you in here with that infection. You need to deal with it. There will be people to help you deal with it. You're not just going to get left swinging, is what I feel. That may not be true. I don't know. That's just a personal thing of mine. I don't feel like people who don't get to where they want to be are going to be left swinging. But the choice for where you want to go is in every one of these situations that's popping up, because people are describing it different ways. It's like train tracks that are all leading off the center path, but they end at different lengths. They run out, or a rope, like a braided rope, and every different strand is a different experience, and some are thicker and bigger, and some are smaller and thinner, and some are running out, and some are merging together. Neither of those metaphors are mine. They've come from other people, and I thank them for sharing the metaphor with me. It's like that. There's choice points and decisions coming along, and a lot of them are blind alleys and dead ends. And we know that because we've done it before. I mean, even if you feel like you are learning and not remembering, we've done so much of this before. Like, we've been here before. To the point where it's almost boredom. We've been here before. Like, come on. You know a dead end when you see it. You're going to try and tell yourself otherwise, that it's different this time, that it's not. You know it's a dead end. Don't worry about it. Do the thing that you know you need to do. Like I say to my children, behave on the street around the corner as if your grandmother's watching. Then, no, you're not going to get in too much trouble, because someone's always watching. But talk as if your grandmother's 2 meters away, and you're not going to get in too much trouble. Do what you know you need to do. Not the easy thing, not the comfortable thing, they're not requirements, they're not criteria that you should be looking at. You know what you should be doing. And if you don't know what you should be doing, then stop and breathe and reassess and ask some questions of some people, ask some questions of yourself. Because usually when you don't know where to go, it's because you haven't asked a correct question. And an example of that would be, why am I here? Even with the best, highest self, internal, heart-spaced, whatever connection you're going to get, if you ask, why am I here? You're going to get a nothing answer. Nothing. You're just going to get a nothing. What can I do? What's the most beneficial thing that I can do in this moment that will bring me back to the path and continue me along the path of why I'm here? Oh, you'll get an answer straight away. Bingo. That's an intelligent question. And then ask it again, and then ask it again. And okay, let's imagine I've done that. What's the next thing I need to do? You'll get 4 or 5 answers out in front of yourself. You'll get a breadcrumb trail. If I've done that, what's the next thing? You've got a path. Now your brain's got a bone. The dog's got a bone to chew on. You've got a path to follow. Do that. You know what you need to do. You know why these things keep popping up around you. And no one's perfect. We're not going to be perfect at it. We're going to get dragged off. But as I've been banging on about in however many other videos, emotional neutrality is the key. None of this is personal. All of this is a pressure test. So if you can remain emotionally neutral and not take it personally, you will be on your path. And that's where your strength lies. There and only there is where your true strength is. Okay. Much love. Enjoy the ride.